Okay guys, so we've had to take the fuel lines off and the clutch lines and the fuel return line, and that bit the battery tray had to come out, but we're basically onto the mounting bolts now. So we've actually got the engine on the crane now, guys. We've still got to actually get the bolts off. Okay guys, so we were having some trouble getting the drive shaft off on the one side, so we've had to resort to getting a bigger socket to get the hub off and then do it that way. So after about 2 hours guys, we've managed to get the engine pretty much completely out of the car. We just got the power steering fluid pipe that's attached to the engine. There's one more pipe that's attached to the engine which we couldn't do yesterday, and now we're actually able to do it. Okay guys, so Alex is looking at the belts at the moment. Because the 1 litre model that he's already got has got power steering, hasn't got no AC or anything, and he doesn't want the AC on the other one, so we're going to have to take them off. So the belts aren't the same, so we've got to figure out some way of doing the belts. Let me show you on the engine crane. These belts, this is so like short to the alternator, but on the other one it's so much longer because it goes round basically at the whole of the side. So we've got to figure out some way of doing that. So guys, we got the 1.3 on the lift. Now Alex is taking off the air conditioning because 1, he wants to save weight, and 2, it'd just be an absolute waste of time to try and get it in because it didn't come with aircon before, so it'd just be an absolute nightmare to plug it in. Yo guys, we're back at Alex's. He's done a little bit of work since we were here last time, haven't you, Alex?
I have, just a little bit, yeah.
Yep. Shall we have a look at the car? Ta-da! She's back together, basically. Yeah. There's just one little thing that we did a little bit of a mistake with, didn't we?
A bodge job.
Yeah, a little bit of a bodge job was the drive shaft.
Yeah.
But everything else is together. Look at that. Yeah, boy.
It runs. Nothing wrong.
Runs. Yep. Everything. But we haven't been out on the road at all yet. So that's quite exciting and a bit scary at the same time. But still, Anyway, so we've got the drive shaft to put on. Yo guys, we're back today with Alex.
Hello.
To see what his Micra's like since we did the 1.3 engine swap. Now, while we were doing it, we did encounter some problems. We'll go over the problems that we did have just after we've gone over this little blurb bit. So, you say that it's faster. Obviously it's going to be noticeably faster. It's going to drink a little bit more fuel, although it's not drinking loads more, I would think.
No, not too. It's about right for what it is. I mean, it's still on the standard ECU for the 1 litre. I haven't changed it over or anything.
Yeah.
Just took the engine out and put another one in. All good to go.
Problems that we ran in too. So quite a lot of problems, didn't we?
Yeah.
Now I didn't show you all the problems that we had because obviously it'd have been a bit boring, and Alex covered me in gearbox oil or what it was in the gator oil.
I got so much oil.
Now we will say, if you're going to do an engine like this, wear overalls like Alex did.
I think getting it out as well, we had a bit of trouble.
Yeah, we tried. When we lifted it out originally, the engine is like that, and to get it out you actually have to put it on a tilt, didn't you? Either one way or another to get it out, and you didn't see that as well because obviously that would have made a boring video. But when we were getting it out, it was quite tough on it, and it started lifting up the car at one point off the jacks. We got a little bit scared because you were underneath it. Then there was the problems of getting the drive shaft and stuff, because we actually snapped the drive shaft trying to get one out. The gator exploded and went all over me. It covered me and covered you in gearbox oil as well, didn't it? And then
wear rough clothes when you're doing this.
Yeah, definitely wear overalls or clothes that you go to piss about with your mates in, because you don't want to be wearing nothing nice. You're gonna get out. Yeah, when we had the problems with going back and having to redo things, Alex was still working on it while I was at work, because obviously Alex had a couple of days off, didn't you? Yeah. And I couldn't get the time off to do it, but I helped over the weekend, then come back, and then we did it eventually anyway. So it's all good. When we started it up first, it started overheating, didn't it?
Yeah.
What did you work out was the problem? Because I wasn't there, was I?
I just kept running it and running it. I drove it up and down the street.
Do you reckon it was what I said it was, an air bubble in the
it had
line
to be
or something? Yeah.
I think the cooling system needs flushing out anyway, because I took some gunk out the old engine and it was just thick grime. It's disgusting.
It was dead black.
So I'm assuming
horrible.
it's going to be the same on this one, so it will need a proper flush.
Yeah, we do have a slight issue where we snapped one of the cables, didn't we, which is the speedo. This little thing here is the speedo cable, which we snapped off the engine. It's somewhere around there, isn't it?
About here.
Oh, is it around? Oh, it's because when we were on the thing, it was the other way around, wasn't it? So in the actual engine bay now, guys, we'll show you a little bit more in depth of what we've already talked about. So we also had the problem with getting the heat shield off the engine. We had to basically rip it off, didn't we?
Yeah, get a flathead screwdriver and a hammer and just
rip it off. Alex wasn't bothered about that part anyway, so we took that off. And then when you put the new bolts on, he snapped one of the bolts, didn't you?
Yeah.
But it's held on quite tight, so we've got no smoke or anything now. We put some new gaskets in, or Alex put some new gaskets in, sealed it up, no smoke, it's totally fine. You had the problem with the HT lead, didn't you, while I wasn't there?
Yeah, this one, the one that came on the engine, is from someone from the previous owner. It's a good idea to electrical tape it back together.
Yeah, it's definitely. Don't do that on a HT lead or anything, guys. It's definitely not a good idea. So, so you switched the one from the 1 litre over, and it was totally fine.
Yeah, exactly the same. All the codes on it are exactly the same.
Now do make sure when you go and get spark plugs as well that you get the right size, because Alex did you?
No, it's supposed to be about this big in length. I got ones that are about that big.
Yeah.
So You don't.
Well, it said on the packet that it was matching this car, though, didn't it?
I was a letter out. I think.
Oh, were
I was
you?
supposed to
Oh, right, I see.
started off H instead of K. I think. I can't
Ah, you numpty.
Too excited.
So that was a little bit of a problem. What else did we encounter? Because I had to unscrew that when we had the overheating issue, didn't we? Yeah, it'll be hot. And then there was obviously an air bubble in here. That's gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, it's on minimum.
You need some more coolant in that, mate.
I believe.
But overall, it's running fine. There's no oil leaks, which is what you have to look for in putting a new engine in and stuff. All the gaskets were replaced when we put the actual engine in, weren't they?
Well, not the head gasket.
Well, not the main gaskets, because obviously you've got to get that open. But yeah, everything was quite smooth to do, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, it was.
In the actual end of it,
yeah,
it was okay. Putting everything back on was a lot easier than taking it off, wasn't it?
it always is.
But
I mean, we swapped it all out because this used to have AC, didn't it?
yeah, we
took
took the air conditioner off,
all
didn't we?
that off, but it didn't have power steering on this engine, so we all swapped that around. Got the
Yeah,
belts
put the
sorted.
power steering in. Now, how does the power steering work? Is it working fine, or?
Yeah, I haven't had any noises with it. It's stayed. It's on minimum at the minute, but I think that's just hot.
Probably. It's probably inside the actual engine bit, isn't it?
I guess so. But yeah, no noises. Works great.
Well, that's absolutely mint to see, innit?
Yeah.
Everything's all back in, working fine.
Exactly how it was. You know, I've been a bit lazy here with not taking these
Not
off.
taking certain things off. You do get a little bit like that when you've done it for hours and hours. We're on the motorway, guys. It's an extremely scary experience in this car, being on its arse, and apparently the steering shakes quite a bit at normal speeds. Do you have a look? Oh, look at that steering shake. It's relatively comfy though.
Yeah, as long as you don't hit any big bumps.
Yeah, you don't want to hit no big bumps.
Noisy. It's very
Very,
noisy.
very, very noisy. You can't even hear the speakers. It's not.
You know, feel, you know, the realness,
You want to hear that engine, don't you?
Oh yeah.
At least the rev limit ever works. Fast gear changes. Going for it, mate. We can't tell what speed we're going though. No. Because it's got no limiter. Speedo. Speedo. I hope your brakes are good.
Yeah, they work. They should be changed, but they'll stop eventually.
Scary car to be in, guys. Oh dear.